Mr. and Mrs. Catholic Comedy doing a show about joy.
Hey, it's Mr. and Mrs. Catholic Comedy doing a show about joy. This week we have our social media person, Magdana Mahanabad.
Magdalene.
Mahana. And she is going to sit here and talk about all the things that I do wrong in social media.
It's a lot. It's a long list.
It's a long list.
Show.
45
minutes.
Well, we're only going to do 45 minutes today because she has a thing to do. We have a thing to do. We all have things to do. So let's get this party started. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. And the beat keeps running.
Unlike you should be.
In this context, there's no disrespect. Anyway, that's a song.
Hi, Magdalene.
Hi, Magdala. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's all good. I mean, we'd love to have people on the show, and you know a little bit about the stuff that we're trying to do, so it might be good to have you.
I hope she knows more than a little. She helps us run our social media.
So, why don't you tell everyone who you are and what you do and how you help us? And you're actually dressed much nicer than I am, and there's no light on this side of my face, so it's like I'm two-faced.
So I work in conservative Christian, like very much primarily Catholic social media, communications, pretty much everything that's underserved, I think, within conservative and Catholic media. Like the other side, the liberal operation has it, we don't. So I try to balance that out. And I work with the Crusade channel, with Barrett, a lot of different Catholic hosts, as well as nonprofits, and then organizations or event-specific things like you guys are doing. I actually started off as a political commentator about when I was 18. I'm 26 now, and then I switched over to a business model because I saw that we have all the talent and none of the background stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm very talented, but I have no idea how to run this thing. I did, however, put a light up over here, so now this side of my face. I mean, it does, but kind of. And if I go like this, then it might like. Yeah, it's not gonna.
Overexposed.
I'm overexposed. I get too much exposure. I think that's kind of how this goes. So you are the person to go to when somebody needs like social media help, and I won't go over the details, but your rate is actually very affordable. We were able to afford it, and we don't sell anything or do anything. So it's kind of impressive. And on top of it all, you have so many connections within the world that you've been able to find people to give us donations that actually cover a good deal of your costs. So it's been pretty awesome. So why don't you explain what you've been doing so that people understand that the stuff that you're like the mastermind behind, like this show.
Yeah, definitely. So I cover the sort of the private networking, that's a lot of it, between groups that are very much wanting to donate to things, but maybe don't know about them, or it's not something that's coming into their stream every day. There's actually a lot of libertarians who are sort of hidden Catholics who are very open to donating, but they don't necessarily want to take it, or even just dropping their name into a box on a website. So handling all of that. And then in addition, the social media that goes like daily posting, those things. We're rolling out the MailChimp operation, which I think makes things a lot better, a lot easier. Like our social media links for the festival are embedded in this email. So people can click off of them, go to all the pages. Like everything sort of serves another purpose for whatever your pipeline is. So for example, with the Crusade channel, very much about tune in to the morning show, listen. For you guys, it's purchase tickets. It's like building out that network and that pipeline for whatever the thing in the conservative or Catholic world is.
So to give our listeners some context here, last year, Kayla was doing this, and she spent so much time doing it, and it was very frustrating, long hours.
We're talking like easily 20 to 30 hours a week.
Yeah.
On top of raising a family and helping with farm stuff and household chores.
And this year, she's very pregnant, and so she can't spend all.
Nor would anybody want me to, because my brain's not firing on all cylinders. So there'd be some really weird emails that would go out.
I don't remember who, but somebody recommended that you talk to us. Like you sent me a message, and I think it may have been the Apostles, who at the time were still French cast. They're like, hey, talk to this person. And so we talked to you, and then I was when the festival planning thing really hits full swing, we'll hire you on and see how things go. And I gotta say, it's been pretty good, because like I'm very active on the Twitters. We know that much, but I am not active on the Facebooks or the Instagrams or the what's the other one? The ticking talk, the clock one, the ticking
Yeah.
talk.
Yes.
And
Ticking
so, Magdalene, you've just been taking that and like running with it and really helping us out in that respect. Like you really just getting content out. Like the St. Philip Neri, like the Neri Fest Twitter account was basically dead, and you're putting in a number of different posts per day. So I appreciate it. I appreciate the work that you do, and that's part of this. But also, like, so this is your opportunity to tell me all the things that I've been doing wrong in front of a live audience, so that I can. So just mock me relentlessly.
Isn't that my job?
What?
It's your wife?
Yeah, but you're pregnant and tired, and so maybe she wants to take or
We got to tag team it.
tag team it. Tell me how I'm doing things
Oh,
wrong.
well, it's interesting because when I started, I always start private networking right away and we build that out. And that's kind of separate from the social media. These are private connections we go to. And a lot of people, as soon as I sent them the website link and explained what it was, they were totally down to talk about it, to send it around, some to donate, more coming to donate, but they had never heard of it before. So I think you guys do a great job of like interacting in the community and getting the content, but maybe the Catholic networking side outside of just your area could expand a little bit, because like with the Holy Habits app founder, he was like, oh, this is fantastic, yeah, I love this, because he also, his wife just had a baby, they're always looking for family friendly things. They didn't know about this, so I think a lot of times you got to like break out of the small Catholic community. And I have this for a lot of clients where they're really interwoven in their area. There's one in California, like the guy to be in California if you're a Catholic. Outside of that, he has no idea what's going on whatsoever in the Catholic media world. Though it's fun, like you bridge those connections. I think that's the main one. And also just introducing more reels content, anything like that. You got to break it up. Like text posts are great, but they're not eye-catching on anything but Twitter.
Okay, but the Dave memes, those have been good, right? Those are the best. Like you love the Dave memes that I put out there.
Yeah.
She's like, sure.
Sure.
Why not?
Yeah, we're not
You
gonna.
pay me to be nice to you.
I don't pay her to be nice to us. We pay her to make us better.
We don't have any like volunteers or staff or anything for our apostolate, whatever you want to call it.
She's the first staff member.
She is our first staff member. She gets paid more than we do.
Well, yeah. We get paid in negative money.
We get negative money. But yeah, no, you're our first staff member, and trying to find, we've found plenty of people that are like, this is amazing, this is a great idea, but nobody wants to put forth the effort or the money to help it keep going, which is the hard part, because there's only so much two people can do, especially when they're juggling everyday life. And on top of that, trying to do this thing for everyone else, completely nonprofit. We've been negative year after year. And everybody's like, yeah, this is great. This is a great idea. We love it. We support you. Can you hand out a flyer? No.
So,
but you like us, right?
So we should okay, so in this realm of a good fun podcast, we should ask you about yourself beyond what you do to make us look good. I think that's positive in terms of podcast.
You said you're 26?
26. That
you look no older than 21. You would look so young.
It's the glasses. Glasses drop you a couple of years. So tell us about you.
So I started in conservative podcasting when I was like 18, and prior to that, I was a debate captain, debate champion in Massachusetts. That's where I went to high school. So I went to high school during the epitome of conservative hate in Massachusetts, which was not for the faint of heart. And then then engaged even more with it by being in debate rounds with it. So the nastiness, like there's nothing that prepares you better for the young conservative world than being in high school debate in Massachusetts during 2016. I genuinely believe that if you have those weird niche credentials, you were like made for this. So I did that, and then I was in the conservative commentator world in 2019, really up until like 2022, and then switched to social media and everything in that realm. But I think that if you survive the young conservative political world and you don't go crazy or like there's no major scandals, you're not written about in Newsweek, you can pretty much do anything. And that's my more behind the camera. I wanted to go more in front of the camera rather. I wanted to go more behind the camera.
So basically, I could make it in political commentary because there's no scandals about me, and I'm very awesome, and everyone loves me.
But you're not involved.
Well, there's no scandals.
All in
Yeah.
them.
I was in debate when I was in high school, back in 2002, 2003. I was in speech and debate. I did policy debate is what I did. So there was Lincoln Douglas was one of the debate forums, and I did policy, which is like a partner debate. You know, it's like it involved just reading things really quickly. I don't know if you said you debate. Were you like in speech and debate? Or did you do like Lincoln Douglas or something like that?
I did PFD. I did PFD, and then we had like a breakaway thing called group discussion, which was kind of modeled after, at the time, the CNN panel discussions, which were all around a round table, and they would have the same people all hour, and they weren't switching them out. That was the difference in 2016. They weren't switching them out. So they were trying to train us to be able to do that. So it was PFD in that. And I think one of my takeaways from that was there's no way to convince in my realm, like there's no way to convince a liberal of anything. You just have to keep your position and just keep going. And that's kind of like the pre-course for being in conservative commentary as a young person. You just have to keep going. Don't necessarily have to convince anybody of anything. Just keep going and don't do anything weird.
See, when we did policy debate, there was in my second year, everyone was really focused on what was known as critiques, which is where you go beyond, like, there's the argument, right, which is, let's say that weapons of mass destruction is the topic, and so what our argument was that sanctions were a weapon of mass destruction, whether or not they were, whatever. That was the assignment we were given, the papers we had to read and stuff like that. And the critiques came out, and the critiques were like whether or not like a critique would be something like voluntary human extinction is good. So like it has nothing to do with your argument, but that the premise of saying like, hey, stopping the extinction of humanity is a bad thing. And it's like those things came out, and those started to be more of a focus in the debate realm. I remember like the way that I would get around those is that I would just take it to the logical conclusion, which you turn to the judge and be like, during cross-examination, and be like, hey, so if the judge voted for your position and they have children, they would need to encourage their children not to have grandchildren, right? Or not to have children of their own. They could never have grandchildren because the human race is inherently bad by your position. And so then the judge would be like, yeah, no, I saw you guys up. As soon as you said yes to that, I saw you as Satan. Like, thank you. That's exactly what I was going for. But like, just trying to convincing the judges of things during cross-examination was kind of just the only way to beat a critique, because the critiques were dumb.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't care about it because human extinction is good. It's like, and you don't have like a documentation or whatever to fight some of these critiques. So you just had to like argue. But I think when I left, there was really only Lincoln Douglas and policy. We didn't have any of the other debate forums that you're talking about. So it was.
And your guys' schools sound better than mine. I was in speech and debate rather briefly at the end of my high school career, and they had us like arguing who had the best French fries in fast food. Like it was.
I'm not sure that was like the national.
Awful. No, I wasn't. It was like a club. So
yeah,
it wasn't like professional.
We did. So when I was in academic decathlon, we had to do impromptu speeches, and so what. There's a guy that I had. What he would do is they had a bag, and you would would reach in, pull something out of the bag, be like, talk for 3 minutes about this thing. It's like an Oreo. Like you have to talk 3 minutes about Oreos, and that was your practice. Just
I feel like you could do that.
Oh no, I could definitely. I was
He-
fantastic.
This guy could talk for 45 minutes to an hour straight about literally nothing at all. And he does it regularly to me on purpose.
Well, she'll say things like, I just want some peace and quiet. And I'll say, of course, I can give you peace and quiet. I'm a kind of guy that doesn't actually like to disturb people. So when you say you want peace and quiet, I'm the guy that's going to give you peace and quiet. And I go on like that for about 45 minutes or so.
You'd be like, all you have to do is say, Steven, this is what I want, and I will give it to you. So I'll interrupt and say, Steven, this is what I want. And he'll be like, and I'm going to be the man to give that to you. I'm going to be there. And I'm gonna...
That's how I do.
That's our marriage.
So then you went from debate into the political sphere of like, and then you went from the political sphere to more of the back end political sphere, where you helped to make connections with people, and that's kind of where you found your niche, as it were, which is your brother's daughter, right? Is your niche?
No, that's a niece.
What? Your brother's daughter?
That's a niece.
No, I'm an only child.
Oh, okay. Well, then you don't have a niche.
It's a niche.
No, I do not. No, I think that was true. And one of the things was I graduated high school right when the Parkland shooting happened in Florida. So like there was a huge wave of young people who were very much pro Second Amendment or just neutral on it, who were suddenly being told they were just monsters for it. So there's a lot of us who came in from that. It's kind of like a niche, like oddly enough, like a niche community thing. So we don't talk about it that much, but that was a big recruiter for a lot of us. So from that, I then spent about 5 years in the depths of the young conservative world, which is not super fun and not something I really recommend to the vast majority of people because it is soul crushing and horrible a lot of the time. And unless you find like good people, like I found Mike Church, for example, who runs the Crusade channel, who's a very good like radio mentor, really ethical guy. He like really practices what he preaches in that. And I think if you find good people, that's good. But if you don't, and you're in the young conservative world, you burn out really fast because it's a brutal place to be.
Yeah, I can imagine it being brutal. I mean, just looking. So one of the reasons why I do what I do and the way that we do what we do is because so many people latch on to the political aspect of things, and like especially within like the Catholic movement, right? It's like Catholicism, but actually mostly Republican first, then Catholicism, or mostly Democrat first, then it's like your political ideology becomes before your religious ideology. And I kind of want, like, Kayla and I, we're trying to reverse that. Like, we talk about our like religious ideology more than we would talk about any sort of political ideology, where it's, we just talk about Catholicism, having fun, joy, hope, all of those things to try to keep that at the forefront instead of focusing.
But today, like, silence is considered agreements or even a fight. Like if somebody posts something, even if you agree with them but you don't comment on it because it's, for us, that's not our thing, that's not what we do, we don't get into those debates or conversations, then it's like, oh well, then you're complicit or you agree with the opposite side. Like if you don't sit here and die on this hill with me, then it's like, well, I mean, we have different fish that we fry, and only on Fridays.
We may have been able to navigate around that just by virtue of us refusing to do anything along those lines. Like it's not
really, and we're still very involved with like the pro-life community, obviously, because that's a big part of our life. But we were a lot more involved earlier on, and it took a lot for us, specifically me, to learn not to jump into conversations and debates online and everything like that, because they'll just tear you to shreds. It doesn't matter. Like it becomes personal attacks and everything. It's like pointless to jump into anymore.
Yeah, no one wants to actually have a good faith debate. They want to get their points out so they can take screenshots, so then they can post it to their communities and say, look at this awful person.
This one person represents all of Catholicism, all of the Republican Party, all of the white people, all of the females, all of the males.
All of it. But it's all good. Things. So what has been so you like Mike Church is obviously he's very political as well as being very Catholic. There's that. And has it been challenging working with us when we're specifically not political to come up with content and stuff like that?
No, because I take it very much from the so I look at everything from there, which is why a lot of the posts and a lot of the personal reach outs I do are like, hey guys, this is a family friendly thing. That's what the prioritizing factor is here. So when you have something, you just have you have to have something. Like you have to lead with something, whether it's
Mm.
faith or politics or anything like that. If you pick your thing and you lead with it, then the branding comes naturally. You know how to do it. And I think with the Crusade channel, like whenever we try to be a little bit less political on there, people don't necessarily like it because they're expecting that thing. So whatever you
Right.
pick, you have to go with. And I think a lot of times, like in if you think back to like 2019, 2020, it was much less like open to Catholics within the conservative world. I always say like nobody wants a Catholic until we want a Supreme Court justice. And then they have to be a Catholic and they have to have gone to Catholic school because they teach real education there and all of these things, and they want them to have gone to a Catholic college, then it's okay. But aside from that, for a long time, it was just like closed doors. And especially as a young Catholic, you all kind of get to know each other because you're shut out of these massive Protestant institutions that are like called like the Leadership Institute, for example, in DC, is a major conservative youth feeder machine. They're not crazy about Catholics to this day. So when you have those kinds of things, you all get to know each other, and as long as you pick your niche and you go forward with it, you can always bring people in.
And so you picked your niche as being Catholic. You do. I don't think that Catholics are your only customers. So presumably you have non-Catholic customers, but you are Catholic and you are
Yes.
working with us on our stuff, and you work with other Catholics on their stuff, and you help to bridge that that gap there. What would you say is what has been like your favorite thing, your favorite like tweet or social media post that you've been able to make and push out there? Not necessarily even for us, just like overall, what you feel like is was the most fun thing you did.
I have this really, really weird subset of clients that are in high ticket sales that are like not political whatsoever. And occasionally I get to make really fun, like dancing reels, or I'll get to send something that's like, I just need you to do like the following in a kitchen with a spoon and pretend you're baking, or do something with their kids. So I do really hardcore political stuff and then faith driven stuff. And I call them mommy bloggers. They're not mommy bloggers, but I call them that like to my family, and I get to remake Taylor Swift inspired reels. That very, very rarely when you're working conservative politics do you get to also do this. Like one of them had to just pause for 2 months, and I was so sad because I really, really enjoyed the mental break into making the pop culture stuff.
So so is that something we should be doing? Like, do you want us to send you videos of us hitting things with spoons? Because I
You
have
could,
because like I got a spoon right here, and I could
you
just
could.
and like I think I have another spoon right here, and I could sit here.
No, we're not playing. We're not playing the
No, I could
spoons.
play the
No,
spoons,
no, you don't know how to play the spoons.
and you. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's me.
No,
It's actually
No.
these spoons aren't good for playing the
No.
spoons. The point is, I could play the spoons, and we could make a whole YouTube channel of me playing the spoons.
it could be a whole YouTube channel of you trying to play the spoons.
No, I think that sounds like grade A material, right? You're on my side here, right? That me playing the
You
spoon.
could do that, but you'd need a Taylor Swift song over it to keep the vibe together.
What if instead of a Taylor Swift song, it was a song about how coffee is evil? Would that work?
Would
Is
it
it sung by a pop star?
It's
Like
not
that's the
sung by
credential.
no, it's not sung by anyone in particular.
sung by a computer?
I could do an AI song about the evils of coffee, and then we could
Stop.
take that AI
Stop
song.
looking for the song.
No, I've got to
Nobody
find
wants
it.
to hear the
Everyone,
song.
people like the song.
Nobody likes the song.
Everyone loves the song. Okay, no, I got to find it because it's in here somewhere. So I have a song about. Now it's gonna bother me because I know I'm gonna look for it and I'm not gonna find it and blah. Point is that we could like do me because you know the whole thing about how coffee caused the downfall of Western civilization and
I have heard.
yeah. So and you're going to be working on getting me a book deal on that thing, right? That's your
Yeah.
highest priority so that we can put that out there, right? That's
Yes.
yeah. See, she's going to make
I honestly think you would probably have a lot of success with that, with the Make America Healthy Again movement. Like oddly enough, if you were the Catholic that was super anti-coffee and you were willing to sit down with like Turning Point hosts to discuss it, I feel like you would have a lot of success.
I am 100% willing to sit down with anyone to talk about how coffee is evil and how we need to focus on humor and joy in the world. She got an AI generated book. So there's a website you can go to where you just put in some prompts and
I
it
was
creates
like,
a book.
it's called like Book by Anyone or something along those lines.
And it's just basically it's just the cover and then a bunch of real garbage text on the inside. But she made one about how apparently I switched from coffee to tea at one point, even though I've never really enjoyed coffee. And so she made a book that talks about that transition. But no, I'm gonna do a full thing. I think if you can get me on any one of these like large political talk shows, I can talk endlessly about the evils of coffee, and I can do it straight face the whole time. Like, and that it'd be like me sitting there talking to like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a famous, let's say Raymond Arroyo, because this is the name that comes to my head. Sitting there talking to Raymond Arroyo about how the fruit in the Garden of Eden is actually a coffee cherry, and the evidence that I have behind that, and that's why coffee has always been this crazy evil thing. I've got a whole working theory. I've got it written down. I could go on. It'd be good. I think it'd be good television, you know? So you just got to get me. You got to get me
better when his wife is in the comments section tearing him apart.
I think it'd be better if like you were just
if
you were sitting in the background just going like this the whole time
drinking a coffee.
No. that would just make it. But like I think if like also a lot of these shows and everything on it is so serious, and like just a straight up satirical commentary type thing would be hilarious in ways that most people wouldn't understand. Like, but it would be funny for me. I'd sit down there and like I'd be talking to someone who's super serious, who talks to like world leaders, and I'd be talking about how coffee started the downfall of Christendom, which it did do, but it's such a ridiculous topic for most people that like it seems like it would be unintentionally funny, but also very much intentionally it would be funny. So you just got to get me in there, and I'll make it happen. We'll be world famous.
Get on Michael Knowles' show.
If I can get Michael Knowles, I think Michael Knowles
would be a good sport.
Yes,
he would be a fantastic sport.
Matt Walsh would not be a good sport.
No, Matt Walsh would just
don't do Matt Walsh.
No, but yeah, I mean, I think we got something here. We could just focus in on it, you know.
Matt Fradd would be funny too.
There is actually a really strong vocal group of people who are anti-coffee, not just Mormons, but they're like part of this like natural movement, like return to nature movement, and they're really against coffee.
Does help with natural movement,
though. No, not coffee causes unnatural movement. Don't. I as the spouse of a coffee drinker, I'm aware. I'm just saying that I'm just saying the thing. You were saying a thing, and I'm just completing the thing you were saying. This is quality content. This is going straight on the Instagram, right? You're going to be like ramming this
absolutely
all day long. Because that's the other thing, that one of the things that you do that people may not know is that you told us, you said, Stephen, Kayla, you should do a podcast so that I can splice it up and put it onto the grams. And you called it the grams because that's what the cool kids say is the grams. And I was like, is it that what it's crackers? Yeah, it's like, yeah, because we're gonna be graham crackers on the grams. So you were like, hey, make us some content for the grams, and then we split it up and we're gonna put it out there for your weekly stuff. And I was like, yeah, we can do content. And now we do, and we are, and this is gold material.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it definitely is. I think if you, a Mormon and a supernatural path person had a roundtable discussion about how bad coffee is, RFK Jr. would probably pick it up and like use it within his whole position, because he's pretty anti-coffee right now too. So if you did that with like a Mormon natural guy, you'd have a lot of success.
Well, I don't know any Mormon natural. I know Mormons. But all the Mormons I know are like Jack Mormons, because like real like devout Mormons wouldn't talk to me because I'm just way too Catholic. Like
no, we have a couple that's a friend.
They're not
devout Mormons.
They're not super devout. They're not so devout that they wouldn't drink coffee. They drink.
Yeah,
coffee.
they are. No, they don't.
They don't drink coffee.
No, they don't drink.
I'm pretty sure I've seen them drink coffee.
No,
I don't know.
I grew up in Mesa, Arizona, so my whole childhood is 90% Mormon.
Yeah, but we have
all my friends from high school were like,
like a giant Mary statue in our front yard. So normally the missionaries will come by.
they just go right by the house.
Well, we had some come by like a couple weeks ago, and they were like, oh well, we wanted to know if you want to talk about things. Like, I don't know if you notice this, but we have a van with like all the Catholic comedy stuff. So I'm like, I do Catholic comedy, and that's really some good alliteration. And Mormon comedy doesn't actually like flow. So I'm not sure that I could switch over to your side, unless you get a better alliterative structure.
Mormon musings.
No, because that's not musings. Isn't comedy. Musings is just anything could be musings. Like musings is just talking. Right? Talk and musings is just talking. Mormon musings, I guess, could be a thing, but it wouldn't be a comedy thing.
Yeah.
Mormons can't have comedy because there's no alliteration. That's what I'm saying.
That's a very worthwhile point.
That right there is going to be the next clip on the
That's
right there.
That's a super gram right there. That's like the superest of super.
Why Mormons can't be funny?
Because
there's no alliteration.
Because alliteration is key. Like the great thing is that you're trying to be straight this whole time, and like there's something about like I'm waiting for the moment like you're gonna log off of this and be like, what on earth did I sign up for? These,
you know what? I'm gonna hire Magdalene on my own, and she and I are gonna start a Catholic coffee convention.
No,
and that's gonna have even more alliteration than your Catholic comedy.
It would.
Yeah.
And it's gonna, because there's an extra word in there for the alliteration, it's gonna do better.
No, see, there's so many Catholic coffee places. Like,
there are.
There are a lot of them, and I always I try to be like, because there's Discover Catholic Businesses, which is a thing, right? And when they do it, they'll put like a thing. They'll talk about it, and then they'll talk like about buy Catholic coffee, and so I'll always repost them like, if you must drink Satan's bitter brew, at least buy it from a Catholic. And so
that's because tea doesn't grow in the U.S. There's a lot of coffee growers here.
Tea
does not
you
grow
can
here.
grow tea
No,
here.
you could grow herbal teas, but you can't grow tea leaves. I looked it up because I wanted to do a tea garden in our front yard.
How could you not grow tea?
But you can't, because it's not the right climate. That's why it's all grown in Asia.
No, but maybe we can replicate that climate. What's the climate that you need to grow tea? Magdalene, that's the next thing we got to figure out. What's the climate you need?
Work on that.
Thank you. And then change Arizona's climate to match that.
Yes, and then click into the dome, change the climate.
And you have that level of access, right? You can just be like,
yeah, I'm such a cold weather person. Like the idea of living in Arizona is almost scary to me. I'm such a die-hard cold weather person. I love it so much.
Flagstaff?
No, but Flagstaff is really expensive. No, but I know. Well, oddly enough, have you seen the show Sister Wives of the Mormon? Like, it's on TLC because they took over Flagstaff. They all live in Flagstaff. Yes, they all live in Flagstaff now, and I learned about Flagstaff.
So that's where we have to go to talk to our Mormon naturopathic.
There's a lot of them there. I just like when you
further north, then you hit
Williams and the Grand Canyon.
No, you hit the Utah border where there's the fundamentalists.
Well, I think that's probably why they're close to it, because there was that one guy who had like a thing there.
Warren Jeffs.
And he got arrested.
Warren Jeffs. Yeah.
Yeah, for the thing. Yeah, and now apparently though, like he was like polygamy was a bad thing, and now apparently it's coming back into vogue.
Now it's a thing.
Yes.
And I don't understand it, because I've been married for like 13 years now, and I would never have a second one. That sounds like it's so stressful, like
from a female perspective, like there's no, like everybody goes, oh, but there'd be another person to help you like sweep and mop and clean. And I'm like, yeah, but she wouldn't do it right.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
she wouldn't load my dishwasher right.
Speaking of which, you're married, right?
Yes.
And you have a husband. How long have you been married?
Like almost 3 years now.
3 years. Okay, and you have a baby.
Got like 5 or 6 kids now at this point.
Yes. We have an almost 2-year-old.
Oh,
okay.
18 months to 2 years is honestly my favorite stage.
She's lovely. She's very lovely.
Blossoms. Then
she's very lovely. She has almost like no chaos, and I think that the people at her play group are slightly judging us because she doesn't really like. There's no chaos. She just really wants to do her own thing, and I think that I'm not being invited into some of the mom groups over it, which is fine, but I do think that there's a little bit of discrimination going on.
I'm sorry, I missed that. An Amazon package. It was supposed. Apparently, they needed to call me to know that they can just throw the package over the fence. It's Christmas lights, which we're not putting up yet. We have to put them up on Sunday.
They're
That's
Advent
Gaudate's.
lights.
They're still Christmas
Wow.
lights. Yeah, I have to put them up during Gaudate Sunday is when you're allowed to decorate because we're trads. But we also started decorating like over a month ago. But that's not the point. Point is that we haven't finished decorating, and Advent is a time for preparation. So we've been preparing.
Have you started putting anything up?
We're not.
Yes,
Like,
yes, we
Oh,
do.
wow.
We have we have a very girly tree this year because my toddler wanted to be very involved in the ornament picking out. So we have a lot of pink bows on it.
pink bows.
I
are
love
nice.
it. That's cute. That's what I was. That's why I was asking if she had anything up because I wanted to know if her daughter was like really into it.
Yes.
Awesome.
Cute.
So pink bows on your tree, but you're not done yet because you don't finish decorating until Christmas. Eve.
No, actually, we're not done yet. We have a bunch of stuff left.
See that, and so that's going to save you from the trad
Yeah.
police. Because they will come. They will
Well,
do their thing.
they came so hard from my church tried a little bit to do like more streamlined politics like 2 years ago. And I think on air he was like, "Look, I'm still a Catholic. I just also want to talk about the economy." It was like a very brutal time for the Crusade Channel.
Mm. Okay, I've never really got to. So I've been on the Crusade Channel 3 or 4 times, but I've never been on with Mike Church. I was on with a variety of other hosts. That's actually where I started my debate about coffee being evil, was because I went on and I debated with Kennedy Hall when he was on there.
And then they never brought him back.
Well, no, they brought me not Kennedy Hall didn't bring me back, but other people did. But no, I didn't.
He still likes you though.
Maybe I don't know. He's kind of a bigger guy now, and he's doing his whole Pelican Plus thing. And like I'm trying. So if you are listening, Pelican Plus, I think that it would be worthwhile to come to the St. Philip Neri Festival, and then maybe we could have like where they could stream some of it live for their streaming service or something. I don't know. It could be a thing. Just all they need to do is give us like $10,000, and we'll make it happen. It's fine. Pay for the festival. And then you can stream it. That'll be great. So that's all I want to say. But no, that's where
that's how you hook them right there.
So it was Kennedy Hall made a post about coffee, and then I talked about how tea is better than coffee, and then I convinced Chris Lawrence to host a debate between Kennedy Hall and I, and it was at at 6 in the morning or something like that, because that just was the time, and then it went. I wrote out a whole like bullet pointed list to go through, and because it was on the Crusader Network and Kennedy Hall was on the Crusader Network, I was declared the loser of the fight. However, it started.
Yes.
That's where I started to really dive into, because there's a lot of stuff you don't hear about, like how the French Revolution was planned in coffee houses. But also on the side of tea, tea actually saved Catholicism in Japan, because Japanese tea ceremonies in silhouette look exactly like the mass, and so you couldn't tell if they were doing a tea ceremony or if they were doing mass, and it was the height of rudeness and to interrupt a tea ceremony. So the guards, when they would just go through a tea house, and they'd ignore the mass happening there because they couldn't confirm that it was a mass, and you'd have to disrupt the tea ceremony to determine if it is. So those are things that I've discovered that happened because of this whole thing. But still, it's all good. It's great. Everyone's still sitting out there. I told them just to toss it over the fence. This is content, man. This is
not necessarily good.
The Grams is going to love this. It's going all over the Grams.
Once our follower count drops dramatically.
Look, I mean, it's not as so. We're just broadcasting it on our channel. Last week we had Emily Zanotti on, and she has like 100,000 followers. So we had like 500 people watching.
600.
I said like 500. So between five. So we had like
Between 500 and like 3,000.
We had
small window of
600 people or so watching, and now we have like 80 people watching. So that seems like a huge drop, but I think we're not streaming it to your Twitter account, so I think that's probably where the drop comes from. So we're just streaming it to ours. So.
Oh, but
better than just one.
It is better than one.
And one is better than zero.
One is better than zero. No, I was on a podcast where we broadcast live and we'd have like 3. And it's like, why am I spending my
I've done those.
like,
I've done
why
that.
am I on here for 3 viewers? Like, oh, don't worry, it'll be like 15 viewers once it goes onto YouTube and people watch
Unless
it there.
all
It's like,
15 of them are buying tickets to our festival.
yeah, and but it definitely was.
You got us on MailChimp, right? So
yeah,
which is kind of fun seeing where the emails are being opened up. And so Steven's like, wow, we got 8 people in Arizona opened it up and 10 in Switzerland. I'm like, why are we bigger in Switzerland than our home state?
Why do we have anyone?
Why do we have anyone in Switzerland?
My guess is that a lot of people are using like VPNs or something like that.
Yeah.
So
They might be in Arizona. They might actually be in Arizona.
Well, we had like 33 people in California open it, and it's like that seems like a lot from California. But again, I'm going to presume VPNs are really the thing.
Probably.
I'm not saying that the people within the trad Catholic movement are paranoid, but the people within the trad Catholic movement are paranoid. So they
are not paranoid.
Well, if they're watching the Daily Wire shows, it says to use NordVPN or whatever VPN they hawk these days. All right, we only have a few minutes left. So I'm going to give Magdalene. I'm going to give you a chance to endorse yourself or say if you're looking for new customers or if you're not or whatever, how people can reach you if they want to talk to you about doing stuff for them.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm looking for new people in the conservative Christian Catholic world. You can always my name is like I understand it's very, very difficult. So if you just go to Twitter and you just type in MAHGDALEN Rose, it will come up, I promise. When I first started, there was a punk emo artist named Magdalene Rose with like the H and the G switched, and she hates me so much, like so much. She has been on Twitter for years, and she sent me these DMs. She was like, I really hate you. Like, I just want you to know as a human being. And every time I'd post something conservative, she would just hate message me over and over again. And then a bunch of liberals got her reported by accident over something, so she's not on there anymore. So I am the only Magdalene Rose on Twitter. So if you go there, you follow me, DM me, we can talk through there.
All right, and then for our stuff here, if you're in the Phoenix area and you'd like to go to our festival,
or within a few hours of the Phoenix area,
or even if you want to fly in from out of town, there's a QR code now, but that's to catholiccomedy.com/festival. That's catholiccomedy.com/festival, or you can scan that QR code. I don't know why I'm circling it with my mouse. Nobody can see that other than Kayla and I. And if you want to be able to give us some extra money without actually having to spend any of your money, the QR code up right now is for Notre Dame Federal Credit Union's Elevate program. You sit with them for 30 minutes. They do like a financial checkup with you. You talk about like your finances. They tell you the stuff that they have, and then they give us $150 towards the festival. So you get a financial checkup, which is nice. We get $150, which is nice. So everybody wins.
I think they book your calendar for like an hour and then we say 30 minutes. But a lot of what we've been hearing from people is it's really only like 15 to 20 minutes max that you're actually time wise. So for 15 to 20 minutes, you could be supporting our mission and helping families who maybe can't afford to come to the festival to come in. And it's great work.
Right. If we get 100 people to do this, then we, or by the end of the year, then we will have the festival entirely paid off. So then we can work on getting maybe some bigger name guests and stuff like that. Just scan this code right here, and that will allow you to go and talk to the it's Lisa Roca or Leslie Roca at the Notre Dame Federal Credit Union. I think if you go to their website, which is Notre Dame, just if you look up Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, you can go to their website and you can sign up for that Elevate program.
And be sure to mention Catholic Phoenix, which is
Right.
our nonprofit arm.
The nonprofit that is technically putting on the festival is called Catholic Phoenix. So Catholic Phoenix is what you want to mention. But if you mention Catholic Comedy or the St. Philip Neri Festival, they kind of know that all of that's meshed together, so they'll be able to help us out. So that QR code right there allows you to be able to utilize that. Rose, it's been great having you on. I know that you have to get going to do your other things, and so do we. Thank you very much. And I don't know who we're going to have next week because I don't plan that far in advance, but Magdalene will probably tell me I should.
Yeah, I think I have somebody actually, I think, for next week.
Oh, sweet. You'll have to
Yeah.
send me messages about that. Is it someone you can say out loud, or is it someone that we should keep secret?
Let me run it by him first, but I think he's gonna do it.
All right, awesome. Okay, well, thank you all very much. We're going to end the stream, and of course, when we end it, there's our weekly sketch comes out at the end. So you guys will be able to listen to that. So thank you very much, Magdalene, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
All right, the cow is taken care of. The dogs have been fed.
What took so long?
Well, I certainly wasn't eating the pecan pie, if that's what you're asking.
Wait, what about the pie?
I didn't eat it. Not even a nibble. No pie for me.
Why mention the pie?
So you wouldn't be concerned about it.
Well, I wasn't concerned, but now I am.
Why? I told you I didn't eat it.
No one mentioned the pie. It's in the fridge, in a box.
A very hard to get into box.
Yes, a very hard to get into box.
And I didn't eat it.
If I went to check on this pie...
You will not find any evidence of me having eaten any part of it.
See, when you say it like that, it makes me think you did eat it and then covered it up.
Well, then go check.
Now I'm thinking you didn't eat the pie, but just want me to think you did.
Would I lie to you and say I didn't eat a pie when I did?
Yes.
I'm hurt.
But you'd also make it sound like you ate the pie when you didn't, just to mess with me.
I would never.
You would.
Well, I suppose we'll never know.
Wait a minute. You're standing,
I am.
and I'm in the recliner.
I suppose you are.
You're just trying to get me to go into the kitchen so you can steal the recliner from me.
I am shocked and scandalized by your accusation. I have never been so insulted in my life.
It's not gonna work. I'm not going into the kitchen.
Suit yourself.
You jerk.
Ah, still warm.
You jerk! You didn't even get the pie yet. You pregnancy brain cannot handle this right now.